All right, let's talk about what might just be the most powerful long-term compounding engine in the entire US equity market. Today, we're doing a deep dive into QQQM. And look, that's not just some catchy headline. As you're about to see, the data really backs this claim up. But, and this is a big but, with that incredible power comes some pretty serious volatility. That's the real tension here, and it's exactly what we're going to unpack in this explainer. And of course, before we go any further, just a quick and very important reminder, this is all for educational purposes. It is not financial advice. And as always, what happened in the past doesn't guarantee future results. So please always do your own research before making any decisions. Okay, so let's get right into it with our first section, the modern growth engine. We're going to break down the core value proposition here. So what exactly is QQQM and why was it even created in the first place? Well, at its core, QQQM is an ETF from Invesco that tracks the Nasdaq 100 index. The 100 largest non-financial companies on the Nasdaq. And it is not a small fund. We're talking about over $70 billion in assets. But the number that really makes you sit up and pay attention is that 10-year compound annual growth rate, over 20%. Just let that sink in. Now, you're probably familiar with its famous older sibling, QQQ, right? Well, think of them as twins. They track the exact same index. So what's the key difference? It's all about their purpose. QQM was launched specifically for long-term buy and hold investors like you and me. That's why it has a lower expense ratio, just 0.15%. QQ2, on the other hand, with its massive trading volume and deep options market, that's really the playground for active traders. So same engine, just built for different kinds of drivers. So what's actually under the hood of this growth engine? Let's pop it open and take a look at the holdings and just how concentrated this thing really is. Wow, okay, this slide really says it all. The defining feature of this fund is one word: concentration. Just look at this. The top 10 holdings make up nearly half of the entire fund. We're talking about the absolute titans of technology and innovation: NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft. In fact, get this, the Magnificent Seven stocks alone account for somewhere between 38 to 42% of the entire ETF. This is your direct, concentrated bet on the AI revolution and the dominance of big tech. And if you thought the holdings were concentrated, just wait until you see this sector breakdown. It's even more stark. Information technology makes up a staggering 60% of the fund. 60%. And when you add in communication services and consumer discretionary, which, let's be honest, are just home to other tech giants like Meta, Google, and Amazon, you're looking at a fund that is overwhelmingly positioned in one hyper-focused corner of the economy. But what's not in the fund is just as important as what is. QQQM has a massive blind spot. It has absolutely zero exposure to financials, energy, utilities, or real estate. Nothing. To put that into perspective, those sectors combined make up over a quarter of the S&P 500. So this isn't a diversified bet on the whole U.S. economy. It's a very, very specific one. And that structural gap is a key risk you have to manage. This brings us right to the core trade-off of QQQM. Incredible performance potential paired with some pretty significant volatility. Let's analyze this historical risk-reward dynamic. Okay, let's start with the good news. Over the last decade, this fund has compounded at over 20% annually. To put that in perspective for you, a $10,000 investment 10 years ago would have grown to over $62,000 today. That is the raw power of compounding in the world's most innovative companies. However, here is the other side of that coin. In 2022, the fund lost nearly a third of its value. This is not a smooth ride. It's a rocket ship, and rocket ships can and absolutely do experience severe turbulence. And this chart really shows how that volatility compares to the broader market. In 2022, the S&P 500 had a painful year. It was down about 18%. But QQQM fell almost twice as hard. So the question is, why? This quote explains it perfectly. Think about it. High-growth tech stocks are valued based on earnings way out in the future. So, when interest rates rise, the value of those future earnings gets absolutely crushed in today's terms. The 2022 rate hike cycle was literally the worst-case scenario for this fund, and the performance reflected that brutal reality. So, understanding this intense risk-reward profile is absolutely critical, which brings us to the most important question of all. How do you strategically use a fund like this in a real-world portfolio? Well, there are really four main profiles for a QQQM investor. You've got your long-term growth investor, someone with a 15-plus-year horizon who can stomach the drawdowns for that potential of high returns. You've got wealth managers who use it as a growth tilt to add a more aggressive kick to their clients' portfolios. You have the AI believers who see this as the single best way to play the AI theme. And finally, you have 401k investors who are looking for higher growth potential and understand they're in it for the long, long haul. Because of its concentration, QQM should rarely be your only holding. I mean, to build a truly diversified portfolio, you have to fill its blind spots. Adding international exposure with something like VXUS gives you geographic diversification. A value and dividend fund like SCHD brings in exposure to those stable sectors QQM lacks, like financials. And of course, bonds can help hedge against that interest rate risk we just talked about. And here is a super common mistake we have to address. Many investors think holding QQQM and an S&P 500 fund like VOO is diversification. It's not. It's an illusion. The two funds have a correlation of 0.92, which means they move together almost perfectly. Combining them just doubles down on your bet on big tech. You're not spreading your risk, you're amplifying it. So, let's bring it all together into a final verdict. What are the key takeaways here? Ultimately, your personal time horizon and your risk tolerance, that's everything. For a long-term investor with over 15 years to go, this is a clear buy, provided you have the discipline to hold through those massive drawdowns. For medium-term investors, it's a cautious buy, maybe best used as a smaller satellite position. But for anyone who is conservative, anyone focused on income, or anyone near retirement, the volatility risk is simply too high. For you, this is a fund to avoid. So in the end, it all comes down to this one question. QQQM offers a direct, powerful, and cost-effective way to invest in the very companies shaping our future. But it demands a long-term commitment and the fortitude to endure some pretty significant volatility along the way. Whether that trade-off is right for you? Well, that's the most important question of all.